Hi there, this is a short introduction to the Knowledge and Library Hub. I'm Ian, I'm CPFT's Library Manager, and I'm going to be showing you how you can search for books, journal articles and more using the Knowledge and Library Hub. If you've been to the library's homepage on CPFT Academy recently, you'll have noticed a change in the way the page looks. A few of our more frequently used resources, like getting an Athens account, joining the library and so forth, are now located towards the top of the page, and with them there is a search box called the Knowledge and Library Hub. So what is this and what does it do? The Knowledge and Library Hub is a tool that brings together all of the resources that you can access through your Athens account. That's all the books, all the journals and all the guidance. And it lets you search through all of them from a single, simple interface. It will match whatever terms you enter to anything that might be useful in its holdings, regardless of whether that's a book chapter, a journal article, or anything else. So let's take a quick look how that looks in action. We're just going to start off by into the search box on the screen, underneath where it says Knowledge and Library Hub. We're just going to type in anxiety and hit search, and that will take us to an entirely new screen with our search results on there. But before we can take all of what's on the screen in, what we'll need to do is log in via Athens so we can access all of our available content. We do that with the yellow bar at the top where it says welcome guest, sign into your institution. If you click on that, you'll have to enter your Athens username and password. And you'll be taken back to your search results. The results page is divided into a few sections. You have your search options in the blue bar at the top of the screen. You have ways of limiting your search on the left of the screen. You have further search resources such as BMJ Best Practice on the right-hand side of the screen, and in the centre you have the search results themselves. By default, any search you do, such as our search on anxiety here, is done as what's called a keyword search, so it's going to look through every field in the record and find the best fit. You can, if you wish, instead search on titles, so it's just looking for article titles or book titles, or author, so it's just looking for authors' names. But for most of the searches you do, especially for if you're browsing for general information, a keyword search is probably going to be the best. Above your results list, depending on what you searched for, you may either get a subject summary or the name of a journal that you can browse and search through, especially for more general keywords. In this case, the term anxiety matched to a particular journal in our holdings, and from here, if I wish to, we could search within that publication itself. Or we can go below that to our search results, which are listed in what's called relevance order. So it's looked through and found the journals that it thinks are the most relevant. You can also resort that to either newest or oldest by date. If you find a resource in this list that looks useful, you can access it in a couple of ways. With any listed resource, you can click on the title of the resource itself and get taken to a summary page of information about it. This will include the abstract, it will include subject terms and references, and it will also include a link to the full text if that's available. So for this article, we can click where it says PDF full text, and it would take us straight to the full text of that particular article. For some articles, especially the most recent ones, it may be the case that the full text of that article isn't yet available. Most of what you find in the Library and Knowledge Hub will be available straight away. However, especially some of the more recent articles won't have been added to our holdings yet. If that's the case, then rather than it saying Get PDF or View Complete Issue, you'll get a link that says something like Request this article. If you click on that, it will bring you to a request form that will give you details of the article copied across from what you were looking at, and will also give you the place to add your details. So your name, your email address, the organisation that you work for. At the bottom of the screen, there'll be a short section about copyright. Most of what we'd supply to you if you requested an article of it in this way would be from the NHS's own holdings, which will be covered under our copyright licence. However, we do also request things from places like the British Library, which can be provided to you, but in a more restricted form. This is known as library privilege, and it would basically be if you are willing to receive an article in that form, then the article that you receive might be a little more restricted in terms of how much you can copy it, how many times you can print it out, etc. If you do want to make sure that the only articles that you access are ones that are actually available to you, you can limit your search to just the full text of the articles and limit your search in a number of other ways using the options on the right of the screen. So where it says limit to, I can click full text there, and then all of the articles that I see in my search results here will just be articles that are immediately available to me. You can also limit by a number of other fields, so we could limit to just articles that have been peer-reviewed, we can limit by date, and we can also limit by areas such as resource type. So, for example, if I wanted to see what book chapters and books there are on anxiety that have been published in the last 5 years, I'd be able to limit by source type to books, and then limit by publication date to last 5 years, and then change from looking at the newest articles to looking at the most relevant, and it will show me book chapters published or books published in the last 5 years on the subject of anxiety. So, for example, Treatment of Anxiety Disorders from the New Oxford Textbook of Psychiatry. And if I were to click on that, then I would go straight to a copy of that chapter as it appeared in the Oxford Textbook of Psychiatry. Now, it might be the case that a simple search like this isn't finding what you're looking for. We've done a deliberately general search here, but you might be looking for something that's more specific. If that's the case, you can use the advanced search function linked in the blue bar at the top. This gives you a variety of options for conducting your search, including looking for different terms in different fields, such as, for example, combining a title term with a search for a particular author's name. You can also apply limits to your search before you conduct it, using the options lower on the page here. If you've done your own literature searches before, this might be the kind of search that would be useful to you. A lot of the time, you'll be just browsing through the hub to find useful items. However, you might want to get a list of those resources, especially if you're finding resources for academic work or for publication, or you might find more than you can look through in a single search session. The Knowledge and Library Hub lets you save articles to a folder to look at later. Just click next to each article with the folder with the plus mark in it. And this will get added to a list of saved articles. You can view this list by clicking in the blue bar at the top where it says folder. This will take you to a list of any articles that you have saved, and from here you can email that list to yourself, you can save a copy of that list for yourself, or you can export that list in a variety of different formats that reference managers can use. On the other side of the screen, from the search limiting options, you have several options for conducting further searches on other resources, including things like BMJ Best Practice, Oxford Medicine Online, and the Royal Marsden Manual. One of the things that's quite nicely set up in the Knowledge and Library Hub is that if I click from here on BMJ Best Practice, this doesn't just take me to the BMJ Best Practice homepage, but will instead conduct a search using the search terms that I'd used in the Knowledge and Library Hub and find the BMJ Best Practice results for that term. And this will work through most of the resources that are in the Knowledge and Library Hub. So this has been a whistle-stop tour through the Knowledge and Library Hub. This is intended to be a quick and easy way to get you access to journal articles and books that you need to do your job. If you have any questions about using this resource, please feel free to email the library at fulbourn.library@cpft.nhs.uk, or alternatively, if you're in the Knowledge and Library Hub, there is an Ask a Librarian feature. So if you click on this in the blue bar, you can then enter your name, your email address, and any questions you might have, and that will be sent directly to the library. So thanks very much for viewing this.